Hello and welcome to today's DMS webcast. Today we want to bring you closer to modern document management for Business Central with Azure Blob Storage as repository. I'm glad you took your time to learn more about our solution today. This webcast is being recorded to make it available for our customers and interested parties. I assume that you have no problem with this. Today we want to show you which new repository option we have created for our DMS to make data management more flexible. Let's briefly get to introduction of the speakers beforehand. Sorry. My name is Enes Palak. I'm a sales consultant and have been with Simova for just under a year and a half. I'm the moderator of today's webcast. The live presentation will be done by my colleague Kerem Kikic. He has been with Simova for more than 3 years as a sales consultant too. What are we going to show now? We will take a look at the benefits of Azure Blob Storage right away, followed by the question which option you have for storing and archiving documents in Business Central. We also look at how to manage these documents in the system and how to search and find files in the system. To illustrate, we show you a sample process from a quote to a posted invoice and how DMS handles documents along this process. You can also adapt this process to any industry solution you have. Finally, we will take another look at the integration of DMS into Business Central business processes. If you have any questions during a presentation, write a question in the chat or keep it for the Q&A session at the end of the webcast, please. I will now move on to the benefits of Azure Blob Storage. What benefits do we have with the new repository? On the one hand, we have high performance of large amounts of data, and on the other hand, we have high scalability of space requirements and corresponding pricing. For example, we have the possibility of flexible storage by dividing the data into different storage levels. Azure Blob Storage provides 3 tiers of storage. These differ in pricing and access speed. The hot tier for often used documents, cool tier for less used documents, and archival tier for rarely or never used documents. The hot tier is priced higher, but with faster access time, while the archival tier is the cheapest but has longer access time. The choice depends on the application requirements and cost savings. I would like to draw your attention to our webcast, Azure Blob Storage and SharePoint, two alternatives of data storage for DMS by Simova. This will take place on June 15 at 3:30 p.m. I will be happy to welcome you there as well. But let's not waste time and go straight to a live demonstration. I will hand to Kerem.
Yeah, thank you, Enes, and also welcome from my side. I'm glad that you find today time for the DMS presentation and for the integration with Azure Blob Storage. Let's jump directly into Business Central and see how we integrated the Azure Blob Storage and how we can use the DMS itself. So for demo purposes, we just created a process. We will see the DMS functionalities from the sales quotes until to the posted sales invoices. So we get a look at how the DMS works in Business Central. Also, this row center that we are looking at, that's a standard row center. It can be any row center, but for to access the sales areas, we can just access them here directly. So let's jump into the sales quotes. With the DMS, as you see on the right side, we are integrated on the Factbox area. So for this Simova, it's very important that we've just focused on the integration, the seamlessly integration into Business Central in the Factbox areas. So for all of our products, it's the main focus there. So when we just want to use the DMS, we are not only limited to use the DMS on the list level, but also on the card level. So when we jump into the sales quote, and if we want to work with this quote, we have the possibility to now to archive documents and manage the documents directly in here. So what are my possible cases. So for an example, in my sales quote part, I just want to archive documents from my from my PC. So we have no limits or no limitation about what documents we can archive in this situation. So if there are documents that that are so, sorry, that are different than the typical used ones, we have to look at it. But from our side, we can archive documents or any documents known so far. So for the chair design, I will just simply pick the PDF file, drag and drop it to the fact box, and then the DMS asks ourselves, what type of document do I want to archive in this sales quote? So the user has the benefit of choosing to also classifying this document, what type of document it really is. With the DMS from the get-go, you will receive a standard configuration where the DMS is already integrated in different Business Central areas from the standard, and also you receive a standard configuration of content types and also metadata. So you can start with the DMS directly. But everything, as you see, content types, metadata, also the integration in other Business Central areas or industry solution, other verticals, you can just extend the DMS also through the Business Central. So there you can also extend the configuration, but also the areas can be extended with an extension to our extension as well. So for the content types, that's our standard content types for this area, for this specific area. We can choose that. On the right side, I have also my preview, where I have a nice look to the document. Maybe I just picked the wrong one, but as you see, it's just a little hint. What type am I archiving actually? So for content types, I can just say that's my brochure about my chairs that I want to sell. And right below the content types, I have my metadata. Metadata, maybe some of you know, but metadata are some additional information, some information that are stored with the document itself. So we can also find this document through those additional information later on. Also here we have the possibility to add more information like comments or external document numbers, but we can also define metadata in many ways. So we are not only limited in this or in that way that we just can simply add text, for example, in the comment field, but there are possible ways to extend this. But that's it for the metadata. Let's just archive this brochure, and then we have it already archived really fast in the DMS. So for like I said, so we have no limitation. You just simply drag and drop. It's very easy. You just pick a content type. For me, maybe it's an other document, and that's it. But before we access the documents, as you see, we have our sales quote in front of us. So the sales quote can be sent over through printing out this sales quote, so that we are actually printing out the report, or we send this with additional extensions, for an example, like the Simova extension, the EDS. There you can just send documents or any documents from Business Central directly. But when you do this, for an example, you receive a PDF file or a physical, if you have your printer set up, a physical quote paper. But there we have a report. But what the DMS does is we're thinking that the DMS should not only be a place where you can just archive documents or access them, but also the DMS should support you, so you can have the benefit of saving more and more time, and you can focus on your actual work without forgetting to archiving those important documents as well. So for the sales quote, we have on the DMS or behind the DMS also the job queue that is also archiving the entries. For an example, every minute in here, the document will be archived automatically when we just printed out this sales quote. I will check if the sales quote is already archived, and as we see, just refresh the page and we have our sales quote. So for now, I just access my DMS, and as we have on the left side, We have all the entries. We have my brochure that I just archived. Archived firstly, and also with the entries. You see with Azure Blob Storage, it's a little bit different. Maybe you know also the SharePoint. The SharePoint integration with the DMS. So with the DMS, you don't have actually a different way of using the DMS functionalities, but just a few areas might be different than the SharePoint integration. So as for Azure Blob Storage, you'll see we have also here in the entry the blob access tier column. So in here, we can see some documents are in the hot and some documents are in the cool tier. So what really is important for you as a customer is that you can really decide which storage you want to behind the DMS. Do you want a more collaboration platform, more storage like SharePoint, or do you want to have a storage where you can scale your storage with those levels or your tiers of the storage access? So you can also have there different types of pricing when we talk about the blob access tiers. From this view, like I said, I have my my entries. I can just simply see them also on the right side. But what happens when I re-archive my document? So I have my chair design or my brochure that I just archived, and the DMS already detects it, that it's already archived, and now I can add a document version. So with the document version, of course, it's also important to leave a comment. So we are also able to leave a comment, so we can also have a reason, or every update of a document have its own reason. So we can also write this down, so it can also be that it also can be directly in Business Central. So we have a little history of the reasons and the comments. But as well, you can also rename the document. Maybe you just named the document wrong, or maybe it's the same, or forgot the renaming of this document, but you're also able to do this here in Business Central. When we archive this document again and add a document version, as you see, the files or the amount of the file is not increasing. So also there, it's not that we just simply archive another document or the same document twice. We just simply add a version, and for here, when I click onto my entry, on the right side I have my preview, but on the bottom side of my entries I have also my versions. So I have also directly access to the different type of versions. I can download those versions and so on. Now let's say that we are leaving the quote. Our customer, a Datum Corporation, just said, all right, I want to order this chairs. When we just think about the process of sales quotes, sales orders, we really want to have also a view of the documents that we just archived previously. So for us, it's important that the DMS also tracks the documents that we archived before. As you see on the right side, we simply have access to those documents archived before. We can just re-enter the document view, and as you see also on the entry side, we also have the area where it's archived before, so we also can track, all right, in which process did we archive which document. In this case, many of our customers, and as well we do the same. We archive many emails also through the Outlook desktop client. So also in here, if you just want to drag and drop your order, I received from the Datum Corporation my order, so I can just simply drag and drop also this through the Outlook client. So I can just say this one is my correspondence, and I can simply archive those important communications within Business Central. So also here in terms of home office, working together in Business Central, my colleagues can also access to those documents. Maybe I'm sick tomorrow, so my colleague can just simply grab the file and download it and work further. For now, we just post this sales order. Also, this can be done by different colleagues in the company. So it's not only the sales guy that has to do this. Every functionalities, every areas can be adapted into different areas in Business Central. But when we open now the posted sales invoice, and also here the job queue is working behind this. I will just refresh the page again. Also in here, we have our order confirmation and our sales invoice already archived in the DMS. So also here, we just save time with the posting, with the converting of those areas like the sales order, or here posting the sales order into the post sales invoice. We also receive the the documents, the reports into Business Central directly without thinking of it. So also here, the very big benefit of archiving them in the DMS as well. When I just simply go in here, I can also change my view. So in here, as you see, I have my different columns. So also here, you can say for your user, I can hide different information that I don't want to see. Maybe they're not not important for me. So I can have a much better overview of the columns that I really need. We have the blob storage access tiers also, and also the different areas where I then now can access to my sales invoice that we just created. So that was really the focus on how to work with the DMS process-wise. So we were in those areas. We just archived and managed the areas directly in these areas. But what happens if I just want to access to those documents, for an example, from the customer side? So when I go to my customers, I can also work with additional searches. So for an example, every customer related process in Business Central, we can have, or not only customer, but for this, you can also do this for vendors or contacts or any other areas. But with related areas, tables, you can also configure additional searches where we can just have access to those documents in the customer related areas in Business Central. We just simply go in here, open up the DMS as well, and we can not only just hide or get those columns, but you can also just say that you want to filter them into the different content types, so you can have a much better overview of the documents that you really want to see again. Those documents are also not archived again to the customers. It's only a additional search where you can find them, you can think of it like in Hub for those documents. But we also have another way of searching those documents in a more general way. So it's a document search. So there it is. And also in here, if I have documents that I want to have access, but I only know some information, it could be metadata that I just add to my documents. It could be the content type. It could be also the document library. I can just simply search here by different information. And for document libraries, I can just say I have in mind that I've archived the document in the posted sales invoices. Let me find it. And now I have all the documents that are archived in the posted sales invoice. I can go and say search related documents. So with this, I can also see the related documents and also have access to those documents by downloading them, showing the documents. So you can have this access very fast to those areas and documents from this view. As for this, you can also see the metadata that you archived to your documents. Maybe you have special information also stored with the document as well. Also here, the fast working is really important for us. So you can also have directly access to your posted sales invoices, for an example, to your entry, where you can have access and without opening up the Business Central area or searching them through the search bar and so on. Also here you can work with your Business Central process in any case, or add or manage documents in DMS as well. And also everything also with the blob storage, everything, if you want to archive them also with the revision safety, feel free to do this to that as well. So this was the Business Central process, how to work with the DMS. As you see, for Azure Blob Storage, we don't really have another way of working with the DMS. So with the DMS, it's really important to have a big user-friendly access and the user-friendly usability of those functions, the DMS. So you have a big benefit of saving time and archiving documents directly in Business Central. Also in that case, I just want to show you a little part of the Azure Blob Storage, because for the SharePoint, like I said, you can just go into SharePoint Online if you want to. You don't have to, but if you want a technical base and see where the documents really be archived, you can just simply go into SharePoint Online in the browser and search for those documents. But for Azure Storage, you can download and have access to the Microsoft Azure Storage Explorer. So in here on the left side, we have our blob containers. So for the Business Central areas, for an example, the sales orders, we create blob containers. So in this container, for an example, we have different orders. It's also built similar to the SharePoint structure, but when we go and access to those orders, I can also have here my my documents, and I can also open them through in here also. So here, for an example, I'm in the quotes now. I can open my chair design, so I have also access in here. But it's a technical base. The user really don't want to use this in this way. You can just simply work with the Business Central directly and keep working on this. Here you also have access to metadata and history as well. That's it for the Azure Blob Storage from my side, also with the DMS, and I will give the words back to Enes.
Thank you, Karen, for a live demonstration. Now we would also like to move directly to a question and feedback session. If you have a question, you can write it in the chat, or we will unmute you now. Okay. If we have no more questions or no questions, I would like to inform you about our next webcast, DPS by Simova 2.0 flexible portal solution for providing data and documents directly from BC. It will take place on 9th of March at 3:30 p.m. I would be happy to welcome you there again. Thank you, and I hope I see you at the next webcast.